From days of long ago, created by the cosmic legends of the universe. There stands one man, one great man, a man dedicated to preserving all that is good in pop culture. Loved by few, hated by many. Alone in his fortress of awesomeness, he battles fearlessly against the wolf, the evil, the unjust. To right that which is wrong, to stand for justice, to serve all mankind. He is the one, the only, the Comic Relief Crusader.
Hey guys, woo! Welcome to another Titillating Tuesday. Oh boy, do we have a show for you today. Holy camole, there's lots of stuff going on, especially up here in the great white north that is known as Frozen Tundra Land. So want to welcome everybody that's been showing up. Man, everybody's like piling in today. This is awesome. I want to say first and foremost, I got here like a day early. I want to say hi to Gap After Dark because he was here actually very first in line. So I'm totally amazed at him. Hello, Gap After Dark. If you show up here later, that's okay. Want to say hi to Dark Helmet, who calls us all wieners. Hi, Dark Helmet. How's it going? And we got Foggy Brains, who says, huzzah! Hello, Foggy Brains. And of course, Pop Culture Republic. Hi, hail all. And everybody's favorite polar bear, Snorticube. And I can't talk right now. Snortipoopus Cuber, who says hello to all the other critters out there. And of course, we got Lenrod. Hail, Lenrod. How's it going, my man? And Snail Messiah, the Moloch Messiah of all. Hail, Snail Messiah. And we got Rocco the Brave. How's it going, dude? Nice to see you here all today. And, well, as we do each and every day, let us welcome our panelists.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits?
Pop Culture Republic.
I never get
How's it going, man?
Putting on the ridge. Oh, that's great. I'm doing well.
Nice. Glad you could join us.
Oh, thank you.
And joining us all the way from the east frozen tundra that is known as Canada, Sexton Hardcastle.
How you doing there, eh? Everybody's good here in the Maritimes and all Canada. And yeah, all right. Ted, go away. Sorry, that was Ted. Yeah. He's a Maritimer. I can go. Ted, stay in the next room. All right. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing?
That's right there.
Well.
Yay! Huzzah!
How you guys been doing?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You're so modest.
Week in wrestling. By the way, I'm going to say this right now before we even start. Toxic fandom is horrible in wrestling, video games, pop culture in general. I hate toxic fandom.
No, get out.
It drives me up the wall. It just happened this week. Sexton Hardcastle, I'll give this one away. Usually I play the secret of guess the name. Sexton Hardcastle is the name of Edge, a.k.a. Adam Copeland, who I'm a diehard fan of, who just moved to AEW. Some people online, they're like, I wish he breaks his neck again because he has, bro. I'm like, really? Like, what is with people?
Wow.
Some of these toxic fandom is gross. Like, he just wanted to go to a different company and try different matches. What's wrong with that? He's earned that respect. So I don't know. And we can go on to the fanboys of Xbox, PlayStation, and Marvel, DC. It exists everywhere, and I can't stand toxic fandom. Oh,
I know.
Well,
anyway, as we normally do each and every time that we're live, and I want to say hello to everybody on Rumble as well. Hit that Rumble follow button, please, because this is why we also have the Rumble channel as well, which you can follow over at Rumble at the Comic Relief Crusader, of course. And if you do want to go there, there is the link to go follow on Rumble, because there is a very good reason why I'm putting in that link into the chat. But first of all, we're going to be starting off. Actually, you know what? Because I'm not going to start today off with some really stupid news. I know, but this is actually going to be some good news for a change, okay? And like most of us who have grown up, in the 80s and the 90s, and we lost Pop Culture Republic. I don't know why, but I'm sure he's going to be coming back anyway. Or maybe it's because I'm sharing good news. I don't know. So this I saw recently in the news. Yeah, exactly. One of the bad news. So this is what I saw in the news. I'm like, oh my God, why didn't anybody invent this sooner? This new out by Lego. Okay. Lego creates anti-Lego slippers to end the decades of grueling pain.
What the hell?
I know. I love it.
Oh gosh.
This is hilarious. And I just thought, you know what? I'm gonna have to share this. I'm totally gonna have to 100% share this, because we all know, most of us, the pain and suffering that happens when you step on Lego.
Oh, legit. Yes. Oh, 100%. Oh gosh. Growing up, I used to love Lego. Oh. Even as an adult, I still want to get the big Death Star and everything. Yeah, but it hurts. Lego's on.
I know. And these are Lego block slippers. All right. So I'm just going to read this quick, because this is actually good news, and I did want to share this. Okay. So after decades of suffering through the worst pain known to mankind, Lego has finally decided to create a pair of anti-Lego slippers. No more will you have to hop, skip, and jump your way around a living room filled with Lego bricks, only to find you were already stepping on one the entire time. The pain just hasn't sunk in yet. So after all these years, Lego is teaming up with a French advertising company, Brand Station, to create these one-of-a-kind lifesavers.
This is actually awesome, considering Lego is done by adults now too, and there's some amazing ones. I want to get out there. That is the perfect thing. That is bravo.
Exactly.
Seriously. Bravo,
exactly.
Lego.
Lenrod, it took him this long to make it.
and to people don't realize how much it hurts. Put it this way: everybody go back to the pro wrestling thing. They actually use Legos. They dump them in the ring and spotty slam them, because it actually.
Oh my God, no!
They actually do that now. They have Legos where they dump all of them, and so they're considered a weapon in wrestling now. So yeah, they hurt. Trust me, people, they hurt.
Oh jeez, Norton Poopus. Yeah, are they made from Legos?
That's what I thought at first. I was like, wait, wouldn't that be?
Oh, jeez. No, hopefully not. And hey, Carla, nice to see you. Awesome that you're here. You just made it in time for this very good news. So, yeah, I showed my mom and dad this, and actually, incidentally, hello and happy birthday to my mom, who turns 29 this year, because women always like to, stay 29 as long as humanly possible. So happy birthday, Mom. I showed this to my parents actually earlier today, and my dad's like, yeah, this is like way too late in the making. So apparently the slippers will feature very thick padding to give the best protection against those rogue Lego blocks. There are only 1,500 pairs made. Oh, there we go. Hey, Abotique, how's it going?
Oh, Admiral Teague couldn't make it. He sent me, your friend, the critical drinker.
Oh, there you go. So apparently there's only a pair of 1,500 made as part of a
need
Christmas
more.
promotion. Yeah, I know, right? You need more. They were only able to get.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, you were only able to get your hands on them if you filled out the wish list on Lego's website. Winners were chosen at random. By now, they're probably worth a small fortune to people wanting to get their hands on them through secondhand buying, i.e., more than likely eBay. So worry not, though, as there is perhaps another solution. Lego block slippers. So they actually made Lego slippers, and they're very square like a Lego block. And
Why?
yeah,
Don't know.
Like, seriously, putting together the Death Star, parts are gonna drop. So yeah, that thing is huge, massive. So
I know.
Does anyone else buy into my theory that Darth Vader was skimming money from the Death Star development to finance his very bad pod race gambling habit?
Shh, we're not supposed to know that.
I believe that. Yeah. I mean,
oh, Lord Vader, I was just telling people about how much you love pod.
Yeah, exactly, right?
But
Just
yes,
when you
I
think
want a
you're
pair of
safe.
these. Damn it.
Yeah, I know, right?
I want to start collecting Legos. There's a bunch of the ones I want to get, and damn, these would be awesome. Walk into my Lego.
Yeah.
stickers.
But and apparently they're only available
eBay.
I think yeah, go to eBay. Apparently they're only a French creation. So yet again, those French have to upscale us and do that. So Kyla Burton,
my father.
I get my kids
all
Lego
the money
every
in-
birthday and Christmas because they hold their value or even increase. Yeah, no, they totally do. 100%.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of which, I just want to say the reason I have such a problem with Lego is that my father invested all the money he had saved up for me and my sister to go to college into something called Jaffa blocks, and we all know how that went.
Yeah,
fuck you, Lego. That's the reason I can't read.
Snail Messiah says, I see a flaw with them. A brick can get
Snail.
into the slipper, and the slipper needs a heel cap. There you go. He found the flaw.
There.
Now make them better and sell more of them, Snail.
I have some fashion design friends. I'm gonna go nudge, wink, wink. Come on, let's get jump on this. Make them available for everybody. Wait, what?
Oh, and hail, Dadman. How's it going, Dadman? Nice to see you.
Hello, Dadman.
Hello.
Real fun time talking NFL with Dadman yesterday, by the way.
Yeah. Nice, man. Insanity at work.
Not that you can really have fun with being being a fan of the Jets. And hey, look, Disney Steve Herder, you made it, buddy. Good to see you.
Right on. Thanks,
good to see you, buddy.
Nice.
I guess Jill wrapped up. I was over with Jill talking the Omega Glory, and yeah, they were wrapping up, and I was like, I gotta dip out early to go see my pal Mike. My standing social commitment. And thank you for having me. I always love being here. Hey, Foggy, good to see you.
Hello.
And PCR has arrived.
I have returned.
You're back.
He's late. I sent him to get us all a bunch of bourbon. All right, I'll take some of that.
There we go.
Technology. You can't live with it. You can't live without it.
Just very quickly, I put up an unboxing video this week, and I didn't realize till after I made it that there's a bottle of fucking bourbon sitting behind me. And the unboxing was so compelling that no one was like, Admiral, you're a drunk. You're drinking rot gut fucking firewater.
Actually, Bret Hart was insane.
If you wear Lego slippers, you'll never step on a Lego brick again.
Yeah, Bret Hart was in my hometown last week selling bourbon. $85 a bottle, though. It's like just for his autograph.
Wow.
Fuck I like Bret Hart, but no.
Dang.
It's all bought from the same people who make bourbon by the batch and say, like, we'll throw this, like, chemical flavoring into it to make it taste smoky. And you could call it, like, Smoky Jacks or whatever. Jimmy Buffett wanted to sell bourbon. He could have bought it from them, too. R.I.P.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. But there you go. A way to end the pain and misery of sipping on Lego. I thought I'd just share this good news for a while. Because, there's a lot of crazy, just wacko news out there, and I thought, you know what, this is kind of fun, this is kind of neat, I like this idea,
but I want more now. Damn them.
I know, I want these.
It's mildly depressing now.
Oh man. So this is going to be a pretty important episode, especially for us up here in the frozen white north. Well, because our glorious dictator of Canadistan has well, I mean, he's done it again. You know what? And actually, I should have probably done it this way because it's October and this is the month of Halloween. So I should have been talking like the Count, like in Transylvania and stuff.
Wait, it's
So-
Halloween unless you smoke Dave Filoni's Paul, in which case it's Sam fucking Hain. What a weird bunch of stories we heard about that story. Wow.
Exactly. Blah blah. So
She's crazy. Did you hear that stuff?
I believe I did. Yes. Yeah.
While I don't believe she's a devil worshiper, because I don't think she has the depth to understand it, she seems to be like hung up on the first two Dio records. And like, to which I say, would you please buy Diary of a Madman to have a more nuanced view of Satanism if that's what you're going to put into Star Wars?
Yeah, exactly right. Oh God, no wonder it's in the state that it's in right now. But up here in Canada, as I'm sure that's probably most of you guys have probably heard, we have had the Online Streaming Act brought to you by the Liberal government, which is known as Bill
C-17.
C-11.
Or C-11, yeah, there was 17 too tied in, yeah.
So, which has set a threshold that determines which online streaming services will be subject to, the new rules arising from this bill and whatnot. And as many of us up here in Canada know, well, there's some news apparently that we can't share on social media, such as Facebook and or Twitter or any other media sites and whatnot, and we end up basically getting a you can't share this here. So apparently, illustrious leader has turned it up an extra notch, and so yeah, this is something that's going on.
I know
So
this
I'm
form
gonna
of oppression. It was invented in Cuba.
Exactly, wasn't it though? So I'm going to be sharing some of this news that's going on here, and I think it's a very interesting talk because if this is going to be done in Canada, you can sure as hell bet it's going to be happening more than likely in the States. So watch very closely about what's happening in your country or any other country in the world. So I'm going to be sharing this right here. So here we go.
Do you remember how Justin Trudeau and his
And for
Liberals
some odd reason,
promised?
I don't know why. Okay, hold on here. I don't know if the audio was sharing.
Yeah, it was.
Well, we heard it. Yeah. Yeah. The
Mike,
audio
Did you hear it?
Mike, it's not
Oh, okay,
you.
okay.
Yeah, we heard it.
The audio is
Okay,
coming through.
sorry about
She's going to strobe it, but we'll probably be able to hear her. And I'll just ask our friends in the chat, let us know by putting 5x5 in there if the audio is okay. And hello, Snail Messiah.
One. Yeah.
5x5
Okay.
for good
Sorry
audio.
about that, guys. Let's try this again here. Yeah.
5x5 means audio is good.
Justin
Yep.
Trudeau and his, when they introduced a
Yeah,
bill
no,
called C-11
it's
that many
bad.
of you posed that social media wouldn't be impacted. Well, surprise, surprise, this is just coming out. We found out that the government's media regulator, it does other things as well too, but it's required.
No, she has frozen.
C-11. So they, essentially were flat out lying to the Canadian public. So this is in the National Post. There's articles about this. This is the fact that the Trudeau government is now starting a social media registry because of censorship bill C-11. Now, this isn't just me saying this. It's not just the National Post saying this. Twitter or X owner Elon Musk also took to his platform to talk about this. And the quote that he said was, Trudeau is trying to crush free speech in Canada. Shameful. Regardless of how you feel about Elon Musk, the reality is this is the owner of one of the world's largest social media platforms. There's all sorts of experts from every political stripe condemning Justin Trudeau for launching this social media. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre said that he would abolish it, of course, but the question becomes, what can we do in the meantime while Justin Trudeau and the NDP are in coalition and passing these ridiculous, crazy laws? Well, the key thing is to stay informed. So this week, another issue came up as well that many of you will be interested in, and that's the Liberals' gun confiscation or firearms confiscation regime. There's an amnesty that is set to expire at the end of October. Regardless of how you feel about this issue, you're going to care about what is potentially going to be happening with this amnesty, which the Liberals have provided virtually no details on, and there's been virtually no coverage in the mainstream media. So, given that Justin Trudeau is creating social media registries, we know that there's bans on news and Meta, Facebook. We also know that these social media platforms have algorithms that ban these things. I am writing long form articles. The link in the comment description or in the video description today is an article about the firearms amnesty that I've given to a bunch of information. I need you to click subscribe in that article because of this social media registry, because of these censorship bills. The best way for me to communicate with you is through direct communications. That's the only way for people like myself to stay in contact with you because of Justin Trudeau's censorship bill. So again, Justin Trudeau is creating a social media registry. This is sort of breaking in the last 48 hours. This is just coming out. So the question becomes for people like me, how do I stay in communication with you on some of these big issues like the firearms amnesty that's set to expire? I am writing to you. I am, doing everything that I can to keep you involved. But the only way I can give you this information is if you subscribe so I can directly communicate with you. I sound like a broken record, but this is really important. It is free. It is free. But the reality is that platforms like Meta, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, they're now all subject to Justin Trudeau's censorship bills. They also have algorithms that prevent you from seeing certain types of information. It's the case. The way that social media is going, it is important to subscribe to, for example, journalists or local media sources that you trust. But for me as a member of parliament who has always throughout my time in office tried to keep you apprised of what's going on, now more than ever, it's important to find new ways to communicate. So click on the link in the video description, have a read. Most importantly, click subscribe, ask a friend to subscribe, and share this video. The only way that we're going to be able to get information out as things like this social media registry is rolled out and as the Liberals implement all of the aspects of their censorship bills is for us to be able to directly communicate with you, to tell you what people like me are doing in the House of Commons to these measures. Now, we all know that Justin Trudeau doesn't deserve to be prime minister. And the only way that we're going to change that is through a federal election and, pressuring the NDP to stop propping the Liberal government up. As we are doing that, as we are making those efforts, it's vitally important to stay in communication. So for those of you who care about the firearms amnesty, there's a link in the video description. For everyone else, click on it anyways and click subscribe so that as important things are happening in the House of Commons, particularly things like this social media registry that's a result of a censorship bill, that I can directly communicate with you. So click subscribe, it's free, share this video. It is so important. Think about that. It's a social media registry. Remember the Liberal government in the House of Commons going, oh, no. This doesn't impact social media. It's crazy. Well, here we are. Here we are in the national. Social media must register with the CRTC by November. This is Canada. That's crazy. So we have to find loopholes. Click on the link, click subscribe. You have my word. I will keep writing for you and keep fighting for you. Please stay in touch with me by doing so. Working hard for you in Ottawa.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what's going on.
I have no words on that. That's insane.
Can I say here?
United forever in friendship and labor, our mighty republic shall ever endure.
I don't want to get anybody banned or anything, but can I say a few things?
Sure.
Yes, you may.
First off, Mr. Trudeau, let's be honest, he's in bed with the WEF, Kyle Schwab, all of them. They have members of the WEF working for Canadian councils. They're in our own parliament. Like, what the hell? And this is exactly. And now Google's censored now too in Canada. So they're censoring everything, and it's pathetic. And I'm really sick of it. And this gun law. I don't even own a gun, but the fact that you're taking people's handguns rights away is disgusting. That's just gross. Like, and I'm not a person that big like semi-automatic stuff, but no, people should have the right to have a handgun in their home for protection. No, he's taking that away. That's disgusting. We're becoming an
it's not just handguns; it's even rifles too. Like, even if you want to go out hunting, you can't have that
you're
either.
taking it away. We're becoming a totalitarian society, and I'm disgusted by it. We need to get him the hell out of here.
Exactly.
Seriously, it's bad. It's not even funny anymore.
Trudeau's Aladdin cosplay. They'll ban our channel in Canada. Yes.
Now I'll quote you.
So
I'm just gonna quote the Canadian national anthem. It says, "Long live our Soviet motherland, but by the people's mighty hand, true north, proud and free. O Canada, we stand on socialist guard for thee."
Yeah, leagues. We're the testing ground for a lot of the stuff they want to do with the rest of the world. We are.
You're a bunch of fucking commies. You're Snowbilly, California. You're a bunch of fucking commies. Love you guys, though. Love you all.
Carla Burton, who lives all the way in New Zealand. Our government did exactly thing about taking back guns after the after that massacre that happened, and hardly.
By the way, that's when the word woke was born. That was the birth of the word woke in its modern iteration.
Yep. Tell him you're lined up after the criminals. Exactly. Yep.
When that happened,
I was about to say there's some things that happened in Australia that were pretty bad.
New Zealand.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't. Yeah. I just want to say when that incident happened with the Prime Minister or whatever they call it of New Zealand, is the Steward of Gondor runs New Zealand? But the point is, they took away everybody's guns, right, after a certain crime. And at an American political function, Democratic Party debate, they asked a bunch of people what you thought of it. And everyone gave a normal answer except the grifter who's on a book tour, Marianne Williamson. And they said to her, what would you say to the Prime Minister of New Zealand for that act where she took the guns away from people? You think it's courageous? Do you think it's wrong? She goes, I would say to her, sister, you are so woke. And a new word was born because it used to mean someone who smoked weed and was cool.
Yeah. Rocco also says, who's also on Rumble. Thank you for being on the Rumble chat as well, Rocco. I see it happening in the States. Will prevent cyberbullying by restricting what is said online. Exactly. Yeah. It starts with little things like that.
Now, should we monitor cyberbullying to an extent? There's ways to work with that. I agree. But the censorship from, like I said, I had a simple little article of a funny little news story from the States, and it got banned immediately on Facebook. Like, I'm sorry, but you cannot post this on what? It wasn't even nothing political or anything, but nope, it's a news story from America, so you can't post it in Canada.
Exactly. So to go a little bit further into this is what's going on. So I'm just going to report some of this news that's going on here. Let's see. Yeah, by CTV, CRTC sets threshold for online streaming services subject to Bill C-11. So this right here is what Pierre Poilievre, leader of the Conservative Party, had to say about this.
I think what we need, if we want more competition, though, we need an open and free internet. Justin Trudeau is trying to shut down competition by passing censorship laws that give a powerful central bureaucracy the control over what Canadians see and say. What that bill will do is reinforce oligopolies. It will limit the number of voices that can compete for Canadians' interest. I don't think that Canadians should be forced just to listen to the powerful corporate or state-funded media. I think that it should be free speech, freedom of the press, and then let Canadians decide what they read.
I grow tired of the Canadians' reverse Mandela effect where they pretend they're their own country. You're Americans for since England defaulted on its war. Ever since the British defaulted on that war debt, you've been owned by the United States outright. We let you keep your metric calendar and celebrate our Independence Day on the 1st of July because you won't adjust for the imperial system that we use because we're not imperialists.
But what Pierre said there too with the censorship thing, exactly. It's ridiculous. It's disgusting. And like I said, we can't even get news on Google anymore. They're censoring that out now too. So it's time to create new websites, new borderless things. It has to be done because this is too much. This is gross.
And we
how
are
about,
here on.
How about using a VPN? If you used a VPN, does that affect Google?
I don't know what you're talking about. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of those.
Yeah.
But here it is. The Canadian Radio, Television and Telecommunications Commission has set a threshold that determines which online streaming services will be subject to new rules arising from the Online Streaming Act, formerly known as Bill C-11. The Broadcasting Watchdog decision says online streaming services offering broadcasting content in Canada and earning $10 million or more in annual revenues must provide information about their activities by registering with the CRTC before November 28th. So it says social media services and online services offering podcasts must register. Ooh, podcasts as well. While social media users or individuals who use social media to share podcasts do not have to do so. I don't believe that for 1 second at all. The Online Streaming Services Act
keep reading.
Received royal assent in April and is meant to update the Broadcasting Act to require digital platforms such as Netflix, YouTube, and TikTok to contribute and promote Canadian content.
We stand on God for thee.
So, starting Friday, the CRTC is requiring certain online streaming services to provide it with information related to their content and subscribership to make content available in a way that is not tiered to a specific mobile or internet service. So, this is public consultations launched by the CRTC in May, related to Bill C-11 as a regulator continues to consider what contributors, traditional broadcasters,
does that work? I hope that works.
Will need to support Canadian and Indigenous content. Yes, it actually does work.
I got all the words right too. I mean, I've been to enough fucking hockey games, guys. I know the lyrics of Canada, but yeah, you know what? That's my dream. My dream is to sing the national anthem at a New York Islanders game. And I want them to be playing one of the Canadian teams or the teams that we allow to believe they're Canadian. One of the American teams from the Canadian states, like the Quebec Nordiques. Are they still around? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. They're the Avalanche. They're Americans now in real life. The Montreal Canadiens still in Canada, or did they leave yet?
Yes, of course. My Habs are still in Canada.
Okay.
Yeah.
So while they're still there, before they move to Florida or something, when they play against the what do you call it? Well, if I do it at Madison Square Garden, I'll be rooting for them all night. But when they play the Islanders, I want to sing the national anthem so that I can do both. You know what I mean? Because if you sing the national, I don't like the Rangers.
Okay.
I like the Devils because of the name and because they moved to my old hometown. I like the Islanders now too, because I can go to my mom's house, have dinner, and then buy a 6-pack and walk to the stadium while I drink. And I'm stinky when I get there, so I don't need to spend you know what? Hockey concessions are still affordable. Well, not terrible.
Compared to the other one, they're still expensive. I used to work here in the local team of AHL. I was a security guard, and it's cheaper than going to an NFL game or a Major League Baseball game. That's for sure.
Major League Baseball is $19 for one beer.
So
it's ridiculous.
Yep. Carla Burton says Google has been biased since the beginning of COVID, if not earlier. No, they definitely have been earlier. Yeah, for sure.
Now, I want to say right now, people say use Duck. Was it DuckGo or Go.go? That's actually only.
They were called Lycos. They were Lycos is Google.
DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo. There's also Start Page.
DuckDuckGo doesn't trace you, right?
Yeah, there's also Start Page or XQuick.
Google is Lycos.
But here's the thing:
Lycos was the first name of Google. They bought Google. Lycos is the search engine.
Yeah.
But I mean, essentially, this is going to target everyone here in Canada. You know, I don't believe for 1 second it's going to be just targeting people that make like over $10 million a year or anything.
Hi, Jay.
No. Oh, g'day. How's it going? Glad to see you here.
Like, would that affect you and me for art stuff? You know, that's what I mean.
For sure it will. More than I guarantee. I guarantee everybody that's on any kind of social media whatsoever, doesn't matter if it's on YouTube, and because Rumble is Canadian as well, they're going to have to register as well. So it's going to be Rumble as well. They're going to force Rumble to take everybody's information. It doesn't matter if it's going to be on X or Rumble or Twitter. I mean, or on Facebook or anything like that. I bet you it's going to be like every Canadian. They're going to take everybody's information whatsoever. Everybody's on YouTube. Yeah, because that's what a registry is. It's to take everybody's information, whether you want to or not. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, it's not about safety or anything. It's all about control.
Yep.
Exactly. That's
this is not my Canada. Yep. He's ruined our country, and he needs to get the hell out.
Yep.
We're not too far behind you guys.
No, that's true, and that's why I say, you know, if this is going on in Canada, up here in Canada,
we're the testing ground.
We're the testing ground. Exactly. That's what it is.
May I suggest something that is not impossible, although it's on the fringe of being unlikely, but it's legally possible. There are papers, are there not, that say that Canada and New York State are part of the same body of colonies? Are there not?
I would somewhat agree with that.
I don't
know.
I'm down here in Texas, and I think we're getting ready to peaceably separate.
We're talking about America. We're talking about America, not Texas.
Okay, and I want to say hi to the Titan and Lost Wanderer as well. So I forgot to do that. Hey, Lost Wanderer and Hail Titan. How's it going, man?
Trust me, I'm thinking about either Norway or the Isle of Man as my next, because if it gets too bad here,
the Isle of Tran. Oh, and the Isle of Man. Sorry.
Actually, the Isle of Man is one of the cheapest places and the least crime in the world. They say it's super cheap for taxes and hardly any crime over there.
Texas is welcoming.
I went to the Isle of Tran with 200,000 bottles of purple and pink hair dye, and I made a fortune and left. That's how I'm able to support myself. I go there once every 2 years. I got a freighter captain who gets me within shore, and I just put off on a small dinghy. But that's not the point.
But hey, it's good to see, going on a little bit deeper. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's good to see the Lost Wanderer, our friend Jay. And I'm just going to throw in here, he's on a show called Manorama on Rumble, and that link's in the chat. There's a lot of great people on Manorama. I think it's a great show, but hey, what do you know? You should probably check it out for yourselves. But you know what? You guys over on Rumble, on the Rumble side of this, let me throw that in there too for you guys. And we appreciate everybody over there on Rumble. You should tweet out the link to this stream to your friends, because gosh knows that currency is very important. And also for those of you watching, if you could be so kind as to give Mike a like on we got one right away, to give Mike a like on Rumble, and hey Rocco over on Rumble, if you can help us out to expand our influence on Rumble. Mike is at 101 followers, which is why I feel a little inadequate and shamed in my manhood that I only have like 73. So if you want to join me, you can do that too. But, sign up and certainly do what it takes to be able to comment on Rumble, because YouTube is really set up for the user experience, but most people seem to agree. And I saw Mexican Iron Man sort of validating this with the salty nerd people on Rumble, that Rumble is not set up for us, the creator, and it's not really even well set up for you, the user. What it's really well set up for is freedom of speech. But while cursing the algorithm, they said it needs an algorithm. Your front page is random. It comes down to who you subscribe to. Then we had to do the legwork to get enough people to broadcast live. And I I feel bad asking all of you to do the legwork so that you can talk back to us. But if you're here because you hate YouTube, use that junk email, put in a fake address, just get an account so that you can talk to us. We want to hear what you have to say, and we really, really like all of you. And we like that you've taken the extra step for freedom of speech and put up with some technical bugs, because Rumble's going to take over, but it's behind technically. It's growing faster than they can support it. So take heart and don't drop off Rumble. Stay with it.
Exactly. That's
cool.
why we're just trying hard to simultaneously broadcast on both YouTube and Rumble to let you guys know that, yeah, we are over there as well. And we want you guys to be over there as well. Because, as everybody knows, YouTube will just miscellaneously take away subscribers, take away watch hours. They'll try to censor, anything that they don't basically agree with, and fine. You know what? Let them, because that's what Rumble is for as well. Because, we got more freedom of speech, can say more things, can present more things to you guys out there to share all this kind of information. Because I don't know if something like this, if YouTube will just go, no, we're just going to take the Canadian government side and just basically censor this entire broadcast. I'm hoping that doesn't happen, because all of you people need to know what's going on. But that's why there's also Rumble as well. So if you guys, because I start it in the chat, if you guys just want to go over to Rumble and just join up over there, I would greatly appreciate it. And that's why, on top of that, I'm trying to simultaneously broadcast as well. So yeah.
And we're not just people
and guys,
and I want to say hey to Lenrod. You got to go to work, so thank you very much for dropping on by. I really appreciate it.
Lenrod's link is in the chat. I'm sorry, Foggy. Lenrod's link for his website is in the chat. I believe it's giving old consoles new life. It's in there though, and it's good to see Lenrod. Sorry, Foggy. Go ahead. We have to. If we don't promote each other, where are we? This is a community. We all come here because we're part of a community. We have common interests. We like each other, and we listen to you. You listen to us. It's better for you, better for us, better for everyone.
Exactly.
Rocco the Brave. And by the way, hello to Rocco the Brave in the chat. And Appion's link is also in the chat. Appion and Rocco the Brave, very good friends of the channel, very good friends of the pragmatic consumer of pop culture. Good reviews, honest reviews of Ahsoka. I had to note out of Ahsoka. Guys, tonight, the greatest Star Wars event of all time. And I can only imagine that our pal Rocco the Brave cannot wait to go do his you're welcome, Rocco. It's well earned. You and Appion are great. We love you both. And Rocco, when are you coming on Saving Star Trek? But I can't wait till tonight, the review for the final episode of Ahsoka from Two Guys Talking over on Appion's channel, where they're going to have to try to explain why they thought it was that movie theater thing was going to work out. I love you guys, but I told you it was a farce.
Before you continue,
and Foggy, go.
Yes, just quickly. We're not just people that spout anything. I've just subscribed to them on Rumble as well. So we do it, we say it, and we do it. So there, I've now got you guys on there, and you can check me because I've gone over there. And I find technically they're still growing, but my stuff is slowly going over there. I'm seeing more of my older videos. It's like they said, they did get back to me, and they said it takes a while. There's a backlog, but all my other YouTube stuff is starting to show up. So I'm like,
yeah,
good.
Then you're gonna have to get on there and disconnect the video double upload, or you'll have doubles of everything. So once you're caught up, turn that off, or it confuses the crap out of your brand. And also make sure you go live on Rumble, because they love it live here.
Exactly. And I also want to say hello to Captain Phantom Nerd and Captain Trinity that joined up as well. So anyway, so carrying on. So this from the National Post: social media streaming services must register with CRTC by November, which we've already covered that bit, but this goes a little bit more into depth. So I'm going to bigify this. I know that's not a word, but I don't care. I'm going to use it anyway. So everybody else can read along. It is now. So all online services with audio or video content, and including social media, that meet a revenue threshold in Canada will have to register with the Federal Broadcast and Telecom Regulator by November 28th, as we've already gone over as well. So the CRTC said in a decision Friday afternoon that its new regulations mean, quote, various online undertakings that broadcast audio or visual content that is intended to inform, enlighten, or entertain must be registered with the commission. So that's pretty broad. See, again, it's a little bit vague in a way, right? Because they like to play word games. That's all I have to say about that. So, such services, including streaming services, social media services, subscription television services that are available online, said the CRTC. It also includes radio stations that live stream online and podcast services. All of you. So, you know what? It's not just Netflix. It's not just Hulu. It's not just, whatever, right? That's in Canada, because obviously our Netflix is different than anywhere else in the world, obviously, because it's geared toward more Canadian content. That's why we can't see most of the stuff that you guys see
some of this...
in the States and whatnot.
Well, that's where it helps to have is the aforementioned VPNs.
Exactly.
But guys, isn't it protectionism?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm being honest. Isn't it the fact that am I incorrect? Is 3 hours of Canadian content for every 1 hour of American? So if I want to show Star Wars: A New Hope, that's 6 hours of your dreck that I've got to show people.
Yep, that's right.
Part of this is hardwired into your anti-American DNA.
Because earlier on, Trudeau was touting the line that, we need to keep a lot of Canadian content Canadian, right? Because he was touting this whole line, this whole spiel about how we should be proudly Canadian, mostly Canadian content in Canada, right? And so a lot of people were kind of like, well, yeah, because we are Canada and we do get a lot of your news and your television shows and whatnot from the States and some places around the world. So, in a way, back then, it made a little bit of sense, but this is how one thing leads into another, right? So
But adding on to that, he's actually censoring Canadian content now, though, too. If it's the news not going in them, they're actually censoring within its own country's content. I've noticed that.
That's right. It goes
fires
both ways.
Nobody talked about that.
Is this the sort of thing where people would welcome this because they feel like, oh, we need to be protected against troubling speech that makes us feel uncomfortable?
I think what happens is it's a misaligned idea that grew from the actually decent idea, honestly, that if we don't develop our own entertainment industry, we'll just watch the American stuff forever. So we need some protectionism to grow our film industry, and their film industry just failed to grow.
Yeah,
to fill enough.
Carla Burton.
Go ahead.
The good news is reality shows are cheap.
Remember that these stories came out about communist countries and you'd be horrified. Exactly. Because remember, communism was never done right.
Oh, yes. Now that we're slowly becoming communist Marxists, it seems to be okay. It's like, it's okay. We can do it better here.
No, we have a lot of good films done here. There's a lot of good movies done here, some good TV shows. But I say, you want to bring Canadian content back. Bring us back the Beachcombers. Bring us back King of Kensington. Mike knows probably know what I'm talking about. They're classic Canadian shows. I know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
The littlest hobo.
SCTV.
Yes.
Stuff like that.
Fantastic. That's where was it Saturday Night Live derived from SCTV. So
that's right.
It was Canadian that
if it wasn't for
SCTV,
SCTV, you guys wouldn't have Saturday Night Live back when it was good. So
I think SNL is around first, but the deal is they take the people, like half of them are from SCTV.
But the guy who created it was from SCTV, the Canadians.
Right. No, it was
right.
They beat the Americans. We see, here's the thing. You guys had an idea, but as usual, you failed to capitalize on it.
Oh, hell no. SCTV was awesome.
You're right.
Let me just finish my rant about American superiority here to my Canadian friends. You had an idea, and it was a good idea. And of course, you failed to capitalize on it. So we took the best parts of the idea and turned it into Saturday Night Live. Years later, with the people left over that we'd passed on, you had a show called SCTV that was still really good because the idea was good. But of course, improved upon by the Americans, it was done really well until the tragedy of the Coneheads movie, after which all SNL has been bad.
Yeah, and then in
Hold on
came
one sec.
another creation by the creators.
Except the episodes
there,
with Leslie
Kids in the Hall,
Jones.
which was awesome.
Yeah,
Yes.
I remember Kids
Kids
in
in
the
the Hall is awesome. You know
That
how you
theme
had to
song-
go Kids in the Hall?
That theme song sticks with you.
Oh yeah.
It does.
Shadowy men on a
This-
shadowy planet.
This
Yep.
from The Lost Wanderer. As a friend of Red Green Sun, I've heard some stories about the requirements even back during the TV show. Same was applied to their monthly podcast. Wow, really? That's interesting.
But it's getting totalitarian now. It's ridiculous.
It is. So video game and audiobook services are exempt. Sure, they will be. Yeah,
For
I don't
the
believe
time
one
being.
bit. Exactly. As those are platforms that have less than 10 million in annual broadcasting revenues in Canada. Sure. Yeah. But as we know, liberal governments tend to be greedy when it comes to money and try to eke out every little dollar from every little thing that they can possibly get. So the decision is part of the CRT implementation of the Online Streaming Services Act, which requires streamers like Netflix to contribute to the Canadian content system. As Bill C-11, it drew controversy over putting user-generated content under the CRTC regulatory authority. After the bill became law, the Liberal...
Yeah. For 1 second there, that sounded like it made sense because we want Canadian YouTubing, which is in my opinion, that's actually a worthy goal. We want to have people representing Canada on YouTube. So we have an initiative to empower it. But yeah, I guess what we're going to find out is it doesn't quite work out that way. But for that one sentence was pretty euphemistically good, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, they want to make you believe. Look,
this guy's a good bullshitter.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Are you saying that Cuba isn't a workers' paradise like the Michael Moore says? Apparently not. No. So
we're talking about a country I have a right to return to and live out my life if I ever become a criminal here in the States.
Exactly. After the bill became law, the Liberal government said that it would direct the CRTC not to regulate content made by social media creators and content that is only available on social media platforms. The CRTC noted in a press release that social media users themselves do not have to register with the regulator. Online news sites and adult content sites that fit the criteria will have to register. So if they have to register, then basically all the information that they have on you, if you happen to live in the frozen tundra that is Canada, will have to go over to them regardless. That's the thing. All their information has to go over to the CRTC. However, the CRTC noted that there is little likelihood that regulation governing Canadian content levels or promotion of content would be necessary and furtherance of the objectives of the Broadcasting Act. When it comes to online pornography, but the regulator said it could look at ways to ensure children are protected. Oh, yeah, sure they will.
I'm all for protecting children, but
the CRTC their name. See, the platforms will have to give the CRTC their name. So that means even if you're on YouTube, yeah. So even if you're on YouTube or Rumble or any place else, it doesn't matter. They can give their information, sure, but all the information that they have on you, the user, right, will have to give their name, address, and contact information, the location where they're incorporated.
Anybody else think Mike roboted away for a moment?
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
Guys, just while Mike is roboting back,
Yeah.
anyone else feel like this is like being stopped or pulled over by the cops and your browser history's in your pocket and they're like, Pornhub, so where do you think you go with this, huh?
Right.
Oh,
this
wow,
actually-
you're looking up guns. Where
this actually makes me think
everybody
of,
else that's using it.
Yeah.
So where are you planning to go with this stuff you were looking up about guns? No, on the information superhighway. I'm sorry, Mike. While you were roboting away, we likened it to an internet traffic stop where your browser history is either what's in your pockets or your car.
Yeah, this actually makes me think of a period of time when Facebook was doing something like this, because Facebook for a time was cracking down on it's like stage names for cosplayers, actors, performers, that sort of thing. So they cracked down on so-called fake accounts. And it affected a lot of people I know in the cosplay community, because a lot of cosplayers were using their cosplay names.
Yeah, I have some friends in the community too. And
Facebook famous, so to speak. So this is just another crackdown on cracking down, making people surrender their identity, where there's I don't know. I mean, it's a slow encroachment.
Well, they're slowly pushing 15-minute cities in Canada too. But
that's right.
Yeah,
and I want to say hi to Wendy Trauma Warrior. That's also on Rumble, and she's chatting away. And she says, "They say you can't squeeze blood from a penny. That's because it's the job of governments." Yep,
we don't even have pennies in Canada anymore.
No, exactly. Liberals took that away from us too.
Yes.
Every time it rains, it rains.
They're gonna rhyme it off to the 5 cent, which they're thinking about getting rid of.
That's right.
We have pennies here,
asks,
but they don't have copper in them anymore.
Nah. Lost Wonder asks, Mike, or will you be impacted by this with the percentage of your show having to contain Canadian content? You know what? That's a good question.
I can't be on the show. I have to get dual citizenship because, like, you need to have like
I suppose
3 to 1. I guess yes. I'm outnumbered, but Pop Culture Republic, I guess, like you have an American and a Texan, along with 2 Canadians.
Put up a Canadian flag on that backboard there.
We have 2 countries. We have 2 countries represented here, ladies and gentlemen. We have the United States through the states of Canada and New York, and we have 3. The Republic of Texas.
That's right.
PC, you want to break it to them? Everybody in the Northern Hemisphere except them gets taught in grammar school that Canada is part of the United States since World War II.
Hey, I am Canadian. So Mike gets that reference probably. But anyway.
Exactly.
We find it useful to allow the Canadians to believe they have their own country.
To say that probably as long as Foggy Brains and myself declare that we're Canadian, that should be good enough, maybe.
Exactly.
So
when I go overseas, I pretend to be Canadian. I do all the things Canadians do. I eat greasy food. I'm extra polite, and I just make sure to drink a lot more than I should. Don't want them thinking I'm an American.
And we got and Snorter Pooper says, yeah, you also have the free state of Florida. That's right. That's right.
Florida's a pretty interesting place. I lived there for a while. It's not the worst place. It is different though, man. You got to be ready to accept that it's different. And if you're not near the ocean, it can be outright uncomfortable. If you have like some medical problems or something, think twice about that move. Honestly. Woo.
Yeah.
In the 18 months I lived there, get this. You know, did you ever smoke?
Well,
anyone's ever smoked? Cigarettes come with that cellophane on the outside, right? I dropped that in front of my house from a pack of cigarettes when I moved in, like during my move. And when I moved out, like 14 months later, because I hated Florida, I noticed that it was still there. It hadn't moved. There hadn't been that much wind. It had rained a couple of times, but there was no hurricane that year and no wind or rain of any. Wow, like objects stay where they're dropped. It was so weird.
Interesting.
Because I lived in really central Florida. That's what Orlando is really central, and Disneyland is really central. It is hot there.
Yeah, it is, and very humid. The regulator said it's clear at this point that social media platforms play a large and increasingly dominant role in terms of the Canadian online broadcasting advertising market. This alone would seem to point towards a need to register such services to enable the commission to gather further information and monitor their impact where necessary. See, there's the key word right there, where necessary. Well,
and to monitor,
what is it?
To monitor.
Exactly. to monitor their impact and where necessary. Here's the thing though, right? Monitoring their impact. Okay. So if somebody within this country is making such a stink about something or pointing out the truth about something that has a humongous impact on the demographics of either, when maybe what bill gets passed, what political party gets elected, anything, right? Then what are they going to
You know where you can find anything, Mike?
Yeah.
Well,
You know where you can find just about anything? I can think of a store.
It's about them wanting to control the narrative. Like if it's the one side getting in, then you can only tell those stories. The other side getting, you can only tell those stories. No, freedom of speech of everybody should be allowed. No, this or that. No, that's
freedom of speech and freedom of information.
Yes, exactly.
Because if you control the narrative, you can control the populace.
No, it was said by William Shatner in the excellent episode of Star Trek The Omega Glory. Look at these words, tall words, proud words, written bigger than the rest. We, the people, they must apply to all men, or they mean nothing.
Anyway, Crusader, we need a cleansing palate cleanser if you may.
Yeah,
I think it's time
we're approaching the midway point, aren't we?
My soul is
time to get
okay.
Park the car that is this show in the parking lot of a store that we've been to many times. Go in there for a little shopping.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
See, because things are going rather wacky right now with my speakers and stuff like that. It's a real pain in the ass. So
you're being
the
monitored.
show seems to be coming along fine as far as production. As far as everybody out there, and hello,
sorry
to the
guys,
Titan.
I'm having a
guys,
little
how's
bit
the
of
sound out there?
We're parked out in front of the
on
Quickie
my
Mart, and
end.
Bob and Jay are there
And
singing
so
their
I'm
songs,
trying
and we're
to hear everything
buying
that's
some
going on because
stuff and having a good time.
I forgot my earphones. So,
did
anyway.
you?
So, seeing how we're at
you
the
know
1
earbuds
hour
work, right?
mark, for all of you people that missed out on the commercial on a Frantic Friday, we'll just play that same commercial and hope for the best. Here we go.
トールさんが避ける組咲いてる時の顔が好き。そうもっと長く見てたいな。
Long, long may.
危ないねあの人。避ける組対長い避ける組。
That's for all of you out there that might have missed that commercial on Friday. So we'll be showing the next one on a Frantic Friday. So you're going to have to stay tuned for that. So, yeah.
I want gum now. I want gum and I want to watch Sailor
You know what's
Moon.
really weird? I'm not sure if anybody can hear me right now anyway.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Because I can't hear anybody. That's really, really weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very weird.
Oh,
on my
watch
end is going
this.
on right
I
now.
know how to communicate.
So
I know how to communicate this one to Mike. It's somebody hit the private chat up.
Just did.
Yeah, okay. So he can't hear us.
Oh, there we go. No, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
I know.
Sorry,
right?
people. Mike has returned to his own show. We
Yeah.
tried. we try reverse phasing PCR.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
the joys
I
of
know-
live streaming.
Yep.
Things
Exactly.
happen. It's
It's the
technology.
Canadian government.
You know the worst part when you're game streaming and you get these little brats that want to swear and your thing. It's like you need moderators. Oh, that can be annoying. Ugh.
Right.
I do.
People want me to try gaming, but I don't know if I have it. I don't know if I could be a gaming because I'm so bad at gaming. I've just put like 11 hours into Starfield, and it's like I finally figured out how to leave the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walking around, touching things.
That's right.
Wait, are you still talking about gaming? No.
Yes.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
Starfield. No, we're moving on. That was my thought on Starfield. Wow, it's kind of mid. So far, my experience has been that it's mid.
I'm actually back to Skyrim right now, so.
So I'm going to give you guys a choice
here.
Do we talk about something next that has to do with comics, or do we have to, or shall we share some news about what the critics think of their thoughts on the upcoming season 2 of Loki?
Comic books.
Loki. Okay.
One with split. Foggy Brains carries the day.
Loki.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I want to point out that Loki, as played by Tim Hiddleston, is the 4th or 5th coolest Loki on the show. Okay.
Yes.
Alligator Loki, number 1. Old Loki tied for number 1A.
I enjoyed Loki.
I want to say something about Loki right now.
Okay.
Just because the jokes mostly landed for the beginning part of the show, because by the middle and the end, that show's falling apart. If you watch that show again and view it as the beginning of the end and an absolute outright taking a baseball bat to their cannon, we see Black Widow die 6 or 7 months or a year before that for the Infinity Stones, right? One of the Infinity Stones. Which one? The Soul Stone, right? Then in the first episode of Loki, first he's knocked out by a fat lady. Okay, this powerful monster from like 3 movies, and they make a big deal out of it. They're like, we're plucking this Loki out of the middle of Avengers, so he's going to be pretty mean. And then they pull him out, and he's pretty mean for like a minute and a half. Then did Nerdrotic call her body positivity time cop? Just beats him down. He gets owned right away. Within a minute and a half, he's in front of a judge getting yelled at. They laser beam off his clothes. We see him naked. I think ladies get to see his ass. So the jokes mostly land, but then you're left to consider it. And I was like, my God, they just said that the Soul Stone is a paperweight, and we see 5 of them.
Basically.
Right. All the Infinity Stones. They had Infinity Stones littering
there's 30 of them spill out the floor.
They're nothing special.
They're paperweights.
They're
specifically
the whole narrative of the movies. It's like, how do
they're less than no big deal. They're specifically used for paperweights. They're beyond mundane. So why did Black Widow die? And these people exterminate an entire timeline whenever there's even one deviation or mistake. So everybody in the entire universe goes to that weird dimension where we see the other Lokis and that dragon that Sylvie beats easily. That is every single piece of our reality. And they're like, look, it's a Philadelphia experiment. It must be cool. No, it was horrible, people.
Rocco, if we have time, then we'll get into comics too. So the Titans is
talk about Perry White, Rocco.
Are the core of the MCU. Exactly. Okay. So critics share their thoughts on Loki season 2. Here we go. This is going to be funny. So film and TV critics are sharing their thoughts about Loki season 2 after being given the opportunity to watch the first 4 episodes. Oh boy. I love the fact that you got Short Round in there. That's awesome. I miss Short Round. But so on Rotten Tomatoes, the show's second season currently has a 78% tomato meter score, which is significantly down from the show's first season, which received 92% on the tomato meter score. Not that Rotten Tomatoes really matters much for anything at all, because it used to be a parody site, so I'm not exactly... Well, then again, 78%. Whatever. It's still sort of high for my liking, but whatever. So here's what some of the critics are saying. Zach Pope at the Zach Pope Reviews gives the show a fresh review. He writes, without getting into spoilers, starts out as a disappointment for fans of the first season, but after episodes 1 and 2, it finally finds their footing in episodes 3 and 4. I am mixed so far on this series, but it'll depend on the final 2 episodes. Oh, so there's only 6? Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
Next, Nick.
Wait, I'm sorry,
Whatever.
but did they just basically say in a coded way, slow and stupid wins the race?
Apparently, yeah. Yeah, that would be code. So that's what I'm guessing. So Nick at the Daily Beast gives the second season a rotten score. He states its convolutions overwhelming its charming personalities and freewheeling spirit of paradox-laden adventure. It's another indication that the once mighty franchise has lost its direction. Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, wow. Indeed.
Oh boy, this is getting better and better. Tessa Smith at Mama's Geeky gives the season a 4 out of 5. She writes, this season capulates viewers into a chaotic chain of events which feel very intentional. K. Hugh Kwan is the perfect adaptation to it's the perfect addition to the cast, bringing him loads of humor and fun. So great to be back at the TVA. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they better include him a lot. I loved him as Short Round. And in Goonies.
The mass murdering TVA.
Yeah, exactly, right? So Rocco, yeah, they still haven't announced new Perry White. Still waiting for that. Oh, I'm sure they'll
In
get to
season
it.
1, they set off like
So-
6 different time bombs and blow up everybody. And by time bombs, I mean bombs that blow up the time-space continuum and delete everybody. And we don't really know how far this goes. When they set them off, does that start the deletion of every single part of that timeline?
Well,
Because we
it gets
find out in the
rid,
beginning,
right?
It supposedly gets rid of that one particular timeline while leaving all the others untouched, if I remember right.
which makes no
Something like
sense
that,
because
yeah.
there's only supposed to be one sacred timeline. So I guess what they do is
Well, you got to
they
get rid of all
they
the other
hack off
threads.
they hack off reality. Yeah, a thread breaks off and it gets too different. They have to destroy it, which makes no sense because why have any threads if they start out by saying one sacred timeline with the stupid storytelling device of missed minutes? And this was written by Willow writer John Kasdan, among others. So this guy's fucking horrible. He's a
No, I
fucking
haven't even
horrible
watched
writer.
Secret Invasion yet, but didn't that change the timeline a bit too, from what I hear?
I don't know
it
if Loki
retcons some
shows up.
characters and storylines. No, Loki doesn't show up, but basically it's,
He should have. It was so stupid.
I heard it was bad.
yeah.
I've yet to see it. So
It was really stupid.
They introduced Super Skrull, but Super Skrull was basically sex swapped and retconned. Because if you remember, Super Skrull got his powers from the Fantastic Four, but in this reality, Super Skrull basically is a she by Emily Clark and basically took all the powers of every superhero in the MCU so far.
Well, she fights her equal in the sense that he shoots up the same weird juice that makes him all Avengers.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's something wrong with that scene where she approaches him as Fury. Like her actions don't line up. And I think that she knows things that he would know Fury doesn't when they start talking. Like it's really poorly written.
Where was the TVA in high school? I like to reset some stuff.
Rocco the Brave.
Yeah.
Perry White never reported about the TVA in the Metropolis paper.
You know one thing I would reset in Marvel right now: the nerfing of Hulk. They nerf Hulk.
Oh God, yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
And delete that son. Oh my God, douchebag Hulk Jr.
Oh God, Scar. Oh,
She-Hulk's little gift there. I predict we don't see him again. Like one line, like Scar's off maturing because he was a douche.
The storyline could be interesting because you have Planet Hulk and then Worldbreaker Hulk, but they don't show Hulk for his true powers. Like
they've gotten rid rid of good ideas like Maestro for Smart Hulk, which is not the same thing at all. And it's dumb. And I don't think we're going to see the Maestro. I think Smart Hulk is as much as they think that we can handle. And Disney, sell one of these things. I mean, give one of them back to us. If you just give us back Disney, or just give us back the MCU. We might be able to turn the other cheek and ignore you while you self-destruct.
Exactly.
But if you keep destroying both.
Yeah. Brian at RogerEbert.com gives the season a fresh review. He writes, "There's so much to like here. You almost forgot it's a Marvel show." Oh,
no, I
for
doubt
some odd
that.
reason, I
Bullshit.
don't. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Propaganda.
God. Alex Mady at Joe Blows.
All the writers worked according to their gifts.
Bring back Joe Fix It. There's a Hulk version.
Each worked according to their gifts.
Gives the season a 6 out of 10. He states, "There are things I liked about this season, and it's worth a watch for Jonathan Majors and Ke-Huy Quan, but it is another underwhelming entry in the once flawless MCU." Grace Randolph at Beyond the Trailer gives the series a fresh review. She states, "Even better than season 1. Marvel delivers their best storytelling since Endgame." Exactly. Exactly. God.
That review doesn't
Cards
on my payroll.
that
This
review
is
doesn't
stupid
carry
as
much
Picard
weight.
season 2.
Oh God, I know. Jeez.
Yeah,
That's just lazy writing.
Yeah.
Oh, frig. Yeah, it delivers the best storytelling since Endgame. Thrilling, epic, dark, but also still funny. This new season makes Loki one of the best MCU characters. Quan is a fantastic addition, while Wilson continues to deliver. Oh my God.
Is that short round or is that Shang-Chi?
Short round. Yeah, that's short round.
For short round,
short
they're
round.
going to destroy his character in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep. I bet you they're gonna make him look like so incompetent at things.
It doesn't matter if they want us to like him or not, because they're such bad writers. If they're going to demonize him, they'll over demonize him and he'll be like accidentally likable for us. We'll be like, I kind of want this horrible person to win because of the show being so bad. Or if they want us to like him, they'll turn him into a Gary Stu and we'll hate him.
Yeah. Titan says the Admiral gives Disney too much credit. They're not holding back because of us. They don't know or care about the source material or us.
Right. Because these shows are written by people who probably have never picked up a comic book in their lives.
Yeah. No, they haven't.
I've got a lot of
haven't.
I just want to go on the record as you may be correct, but I do want to just say very strongly, I have a great deal of contempt for the way they've been making these shows, so don't think that I'm excusing it.
There we go. Alan Spinnenwall at Rolling Stone. Oh God, like Rolling Stone has anything good to say.
Goodness.
Rolling Stone has been friggin' so gone in a long time.
They've been garbage for years, so yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Especially after
anyone can buy a domain name and anyone can write a domain name and put together 2,500 words. There's nothing special about you since the tactility of newspapers went away, and no one's paying money.
After what Rolling Stone did to its founder by taking him out of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and stuff like that because he wrote a book, saying what his personal top 10 was or whatever it was, and basically canceled him. Like Rolling Stone, forget it. Rolling Stone used to be awesome.
Yep.
Rolling Stone has absolutely.
Wait, you're saying the stories of Matt Taibbi don't give you chills, a scintillating feeling?
I'm sorry. So Alan at Rolling Stone gave the season a rotten score. He said, "Oh, well, that's amazing, a rotten score." He said, "As flat as the rest of the season can frequently be, the big problem is Jonathan Majors, who returns as yet another Kang variant."
Okay.
Wow.
Well, there's at least one.
But you're an asshole.
There's at least one intelligent person at Rolling Stone.
How many times are we going to bring Kang back to lose? What is this? He's lost 6 times in 2 appearances.
How many variants can they create?
In Ant-Man, he starts out being vanquished from somewhere else, so that's his second loss after the one to the chick, right? And then he gets trumped in the quantum realm by Elvie from Scarface, and that would be now 3. And then I think the little girl trips him up, so that would be like 4. And then Iron Man fucks him up, so that's like 5 times. And he had like 30 minutes of screen time in Loki, maybe 12 of it was about him, and that was shortcutted and weird. And then I don't know how much time he has in Quantum Mania. Just like that movie seems to be built around the idea that if you're missing, your wife should move on. And if your wife can't find you, she has every right to move on, even if it be with Space Hitler or Quantum Hitler.
Exactly. Brian Truitt at the USA Today gives the second season a 3 out of 4. He explains, sometimes you feel the need sometimes you feel like you need a theoretical physics degree to understand it all. Strong character work makes up for some of that and does a
so we skipped it. We shortcut around that.
Yeah. Oh God.
You know what I hate the most about the Loki show, and then I'll shut up for a minute here. You know what I hate the most about all these shows, Loki, Ahsoka, and even Star Trek? The next day, there's people who've made a business out of having all the writers' notes, and the writers are like, we couldn't get this shit across, put this out. And the next day, it's always, and it's a crazy high number every time, like 77 Easter eggs you missed in Ahsoka or whatever show it might be. That means that, like, you're a fucking idiot, and the show didn't mean what they said, and actually this is what happened. And that's the way Memory Alpha goes with it too. So if you read Memory Alpha and then you watch the season, you're like, wait a minute, Worf killed that guy. It says that he had fended him off in self-defense in Memory Alpha.
Exactly. Lost Wanderer. LOL. Yeah, need a theoretical physics degree. Why the writers didn't need any?
Now put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
He had a mechanical arm.
Thinking is hard. This episode confused me. I must need a theoretical physics degree.
I came home and there was a man in my house. He had a mechanical arm. You find this man.
How
dare you?
Hello.
Are you saying I killed my wife? Are you saying that I crushed her skull?
Mr. Gumby here.
What the fuck? What a disaster. I don't care. Already don't care.
Oh, God. Ed Power at the Daily Telegraph gives the season a rotten 2 out of 5. He did. Oh, no, wait. He details it has taken Tom Hiddleston's trickster god and stripped him of his devilish guile. The character is reduced to a bloodless cover version of the anti-hero audience have come to adore. Welcome to hockey, Loki karaoke.
He's not the same Loki he was in the movies. He's a kinder, gentler Loki.
Kindler might be better because he's sort of like Hitler too.
Just make him twerk. That seems to work for Marvel. Just make him twerk.
It's Hallmark Hitler. Loki is Hallmark Hitler. He says all the right things. It seems like it's nice, and the jokes in the show seem to land. But it's like his actions result in like the complete genocide of an entire timeline of like a parallel universe. Like, well, it didn't work out in that parallel universe. And we see their junk heap of realities. They're exterminating Bill. Like genocide, just like, what did you do this morning? Well, we genocided Galaxy 26A.
Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man.
Ow, my ear holes.
Sorry. Oh shit! Yeah, sorry. The Lost Wanderer. Yeah, Futurama had 5 writers with PhDs, including physics. That's right, they did. They could run quantum and infinite circles around this crap. Yep.
Remember the time Conan O'Brien wrote for The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is
that's
also going back to a time. This is also going back to a time when we had intelligently written television shows instead of dumbed down writing, basic.
And
writing.
Phil Hartman was alive.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
every
exactly.
TV show you can think of, from whatever crap Disney's putting out to Ahsoka, whatever. It's just dumbed down, stupid writing.
It is. Yep.
The best way to put it is this: mid used to mean third rock from the sun, which is now, if you look at it, like that show's pretty darn good.
It is.
And that was mid in its time. You had better options at that hour.
No.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
You know,
so
this
go
is
back to the
basically writers
80s.
saying
Yeah.
that they're writers, pretending that they're writers.
Yeah, you
Well,
go
yeah,
back
that's
to
all
the
they did.
80s and 90s, you had more intelligently written TV shows that didn't talk down to the audience. You elevated people with intelligent storylines, intelligent characters doing intelligent things. Now we have just whatever passes for acting, smirks, grins, folding of arms. I'm looking at you, Ahsoka.
You know what? I got to say something about that one. Could it be that when you have modern writers, they don't respect authority and think that being subservient or to be in any way subordinate and do things in a military manner is wrong? And what we end up with in Ahsoka is like stoic Ahsoka and like a crew of sarcastic cut-ups who can't be taken seriously. We never know quite how to take. I mean, like Sabine, sarcastic as fuck. Hera, sarcastic as fuck. The robot, sort of snarky.
Largely immature. I mean, their characters come across as childish and immature.
A bunch of cut-ups make edge talk, and then one cut-up says something more edgy than everyone else, and they're like, that just might work, and we don't want to do it, but we will.
Yeah.
That's
You were saying,
like
Foggy? Okay. Titan says, yeah, today they hire writers based on who they sleep with rather than their actual ability to write. No, that's true. Yeah, it's writers pretending that they're writers that can't write. That's what it is.
And maybe even pretending about who they sleep with.
Well, yeah, that's true too.
If I didn't think that I could get published unless people thought I was gay, I might just pretend. I'd get a pen name, right? I'd get a first of all, you'd get a pen name anyway, right? Like, so like you don't have to deal with the fact that people, like, let's say you write an episode of a beloved show and you kill a character, you might have problems, you know. So you want a pen name anyway, but you know, quite honestly, it's stay away. Yeah, you know, you're gonna have some anonymity.
Bellin Edwards at Mashable gives the season a rotten review, saying instead of digging into what makes Loki fun, the show's second season doubles down on season one's worst tendencies. It's a drag when it should be thrilling, an explosion-filled trudge when it should be an exciting romp. Oh boy.
I gave up on Disney Marvel halfway through first season of WandaVision because I saw where they're going with it and pretty much decided I've got better things to do with my time, like shampoo my cat, rearrange my sock drawer.
I made it through I think 9 sexual assaults on Loki, that episode where he gets kicked in the balls a lot. I made it through that one. And like the deep immorality of all characters is starting to really weird me out. And I'm like, this is terrible. Like, I thought it was terrible right away, but I'm like, wow, like, what the hell are these people doing? They don't know what they're doing with these characters. Their writing is so bad. And it got to a point where, like, towards the end of the show, you're starting to realize that they're like, you can't put this back in the bottle, that they've done too much. And they've overstated everything. And like now things are so weird. Like people's power levels are inascertainable. It's the most convenient writing you ever saw. And it's just the characters are really immoral. And it becomes really deeply misandrist. And I think it culminates in a scene where what happens is we've seen that this woman who plays a judge with the Time Variance Authority is also like kidnapped out of time. And she had been nothing more than a human being and a teacher. So they go out of our way to show us that she's very normal and maybe even innocent before she's kidnapped by then. So we know she's just normal. She's 5 foot tall, 100 pounds. Her and Owen Wilson have words. She walks up to him and throws him around, beats the fuck out of him, punches him out, straight arms him, throws him on the fucking floor. And when he looks up at her, he's like, "Oh, you kicked my ass. Please stop beating on me." He's like all bloody and messed up. And she's like, "Don't fuck with me." And she like takes her little like device and flashes away into time. But it was like Owen Wilson, I believe, is 6'2". It was ridiculous.
I know, right? It is.
Yep. And it was so
Nicole
man-hating.
Yeah. Nicole Drum at comicbook.com gives the series a fresh 3.5 out of 5. She writes, season 2 definitely doesn't suffer from the pitfalls that would make people continue to question if superhero fatigue is real or not, but through characterizations, pacing, and too much self-awareness, it definitely feels like a different show. Smoke much crack.
This valid.
I don't know about
It's
this.
a different show that I won't be watching.
Exactly.
No, go on to Steve's point there too. Anybody remember the scene for Captain Marvel where she stole the guy's bike? I'm like, isn't this supposed to be Hero? Like, she
Right.
threatened the guy.
She was a villain
evil.
in that scene. She crushes his hand. She humiliates
being
him. She
polite
steals
to her.
his shit.
He's like, "Can I help
He
you?"
was being slightly flirty. He was only a little bit come-on-ish. That's what really was weird. Like, he was like, "Hi, pretty lady. Do you need some help?" Like, he wasn't like totally a dick. You know what I mean? He was actually, he was trying to help her, and his language may have been, the only thing you can say is if you would have to think words are violence and that like any wrong has to be immediately redressed, because the first thing he does is offer to help her. And then he's like, pretty lady or something. It's like, you look prettier if you smile, which isn't exactly adversarial unless you have a certain political point of view.
Exactly.
But to them, it's deeply adversarial. You know, smile, honey, it's okay. So that's like the fact that he tells her she'd look prettier if she smiled. Like, she frowns her way through that movie and doesn't look her best. And you know, and then after that, what is she? He says something like, "Why don't you? It would be great if I got to know you. You seem really pretty and really cool." Which is something if a female character did, she'd be like, "Yeah, I am. We should." But instead, she like grabs his hand, crushes his fist, pushes him to the ground, takes his car keys and his motorcycle keys, and tells him, "Here's what's going to happen." And simultaneously, Nick Fury gets word of this. He's like, "She just stole a motorcycle." I'm like, "This is supposed to be 1991.
It's a criminal."
Really? They know. They know in minutes. They know in minutes.
Jared Jones at IGN Movies gives the season a rotten 5 out of 10. He states Tom Hiddleston's Loki is back for more multiversal shenanigans, but the absence of director Kate Herron seems to have slapped the Willy fun from its Disney Plus spinoff. Or sapped the Willy fun. Nah. Well,
it was
slapped,
fun to
sapped.
begin with.
It was, yeah, exactly.
Question mark.
Yeah, question mark. Therese Laxton at Collider gives the season a B. I thought we were going by stars. I don't know what anymore. Who cares? She writes, season 1 was well loved.
Well, the number B is still a good rating.
Yeah, exactly. I'll give it that.
Oh, goodness.
And with a fan favorite character like Hiddleston's God of Mischief at the helm, season 2 proves that the series not only hasn't lost its touch, but remains one of the stronger pillars of the MCU as a whole. Okay.
Can I just say, like,
so.
female Loki, she ain't bad, but like, if you want to scroll up a little, I guess we can see her picture better. But female Loki, like, she's not bad, but like the idea that this is like a knockout. I mean, she's not bad, but like a knockout to die.
You know, she was
for.
also pregnant at the time.
She looks okay in season 1. I'm not saying she looks bad. I'm just saying, like, good. I've said she's not a bad woman. I've said it over and over. But the thing is, she's supposed to strike down the heart of this 1,600-year-old dude who's seen it all. He's probably, I mean, before she hated him, Lady Kess and him probably had, right? Lady Kess and him probably had a pretty good time together. Like, Loki's pretty charming. He's the prince's brother. I mean, why wouldn't she want to chill with Loki at some point? They're 1,600 years old. Maybe it only lasted a few hundred years.
Yeah, exactly.
Female
Right?
Loki. People forget Loki actually was female Loki. He transitioned. People forget that he can shapeshift, and he actually was. I actually had the figure, so I know
Yeah,
the
you're right.
character.
He's his
So,
own
yeah.
female doppelganger.
Yeah.
Yeah, the show didn't make sense. I think the part where they attack the time gods and they turn out to be puppets like Disneyland was the point where it's like, oh god, and we just allegedly killed Loki too. Like, I'm supposed to believe that.
Yeah.
Show's only called his name. It's got 5 episodes left. I'm pretty sure it's going to be okay.
Bob Strauss at the wrap gives the series a fresh review. He states characters with compelling issues. Oh God, like we really need to see compelling issues with characters. Nobody wants that. High existential drama, quirky comedy, and world-threatening action are blended better than any other Disney show to date.
You know what? It honestly, it reads like what I always keep saying it is, Mike. These are failed detective show and crime show writers, and that's why we have these strange detective and crime show. Well, there's a crime show element in Loki, and there's a detective element. They're time detectives, and there's like a mystery about time. It's like these people are just like they sent their script to like Blue Bloods or some NCIS, CSI. And like it didn't get green lighted, and they're like, "Oh, show them I can write a detective story, and I'll do it in Loki."
John Nugent at Empire Magazines gives the show a 4 out of 5, and he says, with the multiverse teetering all around it, Loki is one strand of the timeline that is sustaining its originality and intention and actually thriving. It's about time. Well, yeah, we know it's about time, but no. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know. I just and this is supposed to be, leading into and this is supposed to be leading into Deadpool 3. Remember this, okay? Remember that. Remember, okay? Because we covered that earlier, like a couple of months ago. On a Titillating Tuesday, probably, I think it was about maybe 2 months back, that this is going to be leading into Deadpool 3 and bringing all the Marvel mutants into the MCU. So,
you know what? They told us that last season was leading into No Way Home, and there was nothing. They said, here's the villain from No Way Home, and he wasn't.
Yeah. They have no solid game plan. I don't believe they have a good outline for what they want to bring about. It's just they throw up a bunch of ideas and see what sticks.
Yep. I think so. Yeah.
See, at least with Deadpool, you can go any direction. So that's at least the freedom. So, but we'll have to wait and see.
I'm not looking forward to any introduction of the mutants because that's like multiple decades and decades of storylines and character arcs that they're simply just going to ignore and do whatever they want with the characters.
That's true. Titan says both Loki and Thor getting stripped on screen. I wonder what the response would have been if Kang Valkyrie getting stripped. Oh boy. That would have been interesting. Yeah. On Love and Thunder. Oh jeez. I can just imagine the outrage. The outrage. Oh jeez. Yep. So this is coming out in 2 days. 2 days.
I'll be sure to skip it.
I think you will. So I don't blame you. I don't know. This is gonna be a snore fest. That's all I know. It is. I'm not exactly thrilled.
I think that you're gonna be like, honestly, it's gonna be an angry, hateful tweet fest where you're like, what the fuck did I just see? And my God, Loki just got punched off a train by a human being and then pushed back a building with his telekinesis. How strong the fuck is he? Like the same stuff that happened the first time I watched the show. I was like, what the fuck am I watching? It's like Loki just like got stripped down naked, and then like later on, I was just like, we just saw a 10-year-old girl get captured the same way Loki did, and she got out of it and like with no problems. How dumb is Loki? Like these writers don't think of implications at all, and like You can't do that. I don't know what happened. Forget about woke for a minute. Let's talk about work, okay? Something that really means something. Their work ethic is terrible. The idea that they think that they can manufacture these things, and Doomcock's thing about the what did he call it? The story, the scrapbooking. Yes. Not only does that seem to be true, but there are formulas and rules and things that make these movies predictable and writing themselves and misandrous and disdainful. And again, I say, all of you who are dads or who take like nephews and nieces to the movies, when you go to see these movies, how does it feel to pay for them and be owned by the movie? Anyone want to chime in on that one?
Exactly. That's a good question.
Okay, well, the question going past this, going to the Deadpool part, which is supposedly a build into, which Quicksilver do we get? Which Quicksilver do we get?
That's a good question.
I just want to say I do not believe it will connect to the other movie as they say it does. I disavow that out of hand. I believe
I'm
that's
sorry.
a lie.
I love the X-Men's Quicksilver. His scenes
I
so
did
funny.
as well.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Scenes.
If it leads into that movie, it'll be a mid-credit sequence where they won't even have Deadpool.
But with this multiverse they're trying to push, it could be anything. It could be something convoluted. It could be a gender swapped Quicksilver. We have no idea.
And we have time travel with excellent control. So what we could do is we could just keep. We could either keep bringing through different Doctor Dooms or whatever, whoever you want, pick a name. Mr. Fantastic. We could keep bringing through infinite Mr. Fantastics and depriving their universes of them, having a ripple effect. And if the first 99 explode, well, hey, number 100, we only needed one. Or you just keep infinitely rewinding and like puree Mr. Fantastic number 1 like 68 times in a row, and you're like, "Ooh, we got it right." And he's like, "I remember every bit of that horrible pain." And it's like, "Listen, we need you to now be on our side." And he's like, "No, I'm a villain."
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With that being said, don't forget Reed Richards is going to be the boring white guy in the new ones.
Exactly.
Oh, that's right.
I heard it's going to be worse than that. I heard it's a lot worse than that. I heard he's the owned guy from the patriarchy who gets his comeuppance throughout the film.
Hence why they can't find anybody to play the role.
Right.
That's right.
Some
for
problems.
Rocco
Go ahead.
So for Rocco out
comment,
there, so for Rocco out there, you know what? I'm going to get a little bit into comics because I just saw this, and this is no wonder coming from DC Comics whatsoever. So Tom King's Wonder Woman introduced the Sovereign as her new ultimate threat who rules America and takes shots at conservatives. Oh,
she's a tough model. She's a tough model.
What? So Rocco, for you, okay? I know, right?
I see that, and I cannot take them seriously.
Exactly.
What is she riding?
I mentioned Tom King set forth with his recent Wonder Woman's run.
Very heavily burdened horse.
She already has that in Ares, Dr. Poison, a horse. Yeah. Dr. Poison.
Of course.
Yeah. Veronica Gale and a host of others. But instead of them, or even Humpty Dumpty, he decided to follow a different path, right? Because apparently now DC has gotten so bad, they're going to have to like basically reboot everything again. So we're getting another Wonder Woman #1, it seems like. So, yeah. So King
what is the value on any of these holding? Honestly,
well,
what is
we saw the Warner Brothers stock and how low that was. So on Friday, that was like $11. So
I'm wondering if it's sustainable and they could get a. Here's the thing: even with stock that low,
no, it's not sustainable.
But here's the thing: with stock that low, I might give them still a loan if they had a good enough. I would have my lawyer and then myself read that script before I approve the movie, and I'd lock them into a good idea if they had it. But they need it might just take one huge hit to bust them out. The Paramount Network and the Showtime package. Do you
believe they'll have one decent hit given their track record?
Yeah, because they could make a Yellowstone movie. They could make a Yellowstone movie and people would go see it. Yellowstone is pretty good, and they own that.
So
Okay.
they have to veer away from comics to make something good.
Yeah, exactly. So King created a new villain
Paramount
who's
only
making
had
some
Paramount
waves.
doesn't have comics. Paramount has has New Trek.
But for further representing what's wrong in comics today, meet the Sovereign, a despot billed as the undisputed king of the United States.
I know
He
where
was
they're going
running,
with that.
Yeah. He was running the show the whole time since the founding and manipulating the masses with his lasso of lies to
Oh,
stay
goodness.
in power.
So your
Is
grandfather's
this
fighting in World War II was all part of this evil design.
and this
Exactly.
character is going to have a very bad complexion, or maybe a spray tan, perhaps.
Yep. So he is everything Wonder Woman is not, which, as you may have already guessed, she stands for truth and justice, while the Sovereign symbolizes deception and tyranny. A perversion of the American way fits in here as well, although the man who would be king in this case embodies it. Like, okay.
PCR.
Yeah.
PCR, what you said about him having a spray tan? In Captain Marvel, does anyone remember the name of the guy whose hand she crushes and seals the motorcycle from? Don.
Oh,
hi, I'm Don. Hi, I'm Don.
Right.
Or no, the Don, which is similar to the Donald, which is what New Yorkers called him in the press.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Nothing subtle there.
So when Tom King said he was creating a Joker level villain for Wonder Woman, he meant a character who is the opposite of Wonder Woman in every way, said Comical Opinions publisher Gabe Hernandez on X. The new villain is an old, white, straight misogynist who sits as the king of America.
Wait,
Hernandez,
you're supposed to be the opposite of her in the every way.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman white.
So, yeah.
And he needs 2 belly buttons.
Come on, where's a picture of this character? Let's get it out there.
Yeah.
Where's this
I'm getting it out there. I'm getting it.
Oh boy.
Hold on.
I predict it looks like evil Santa Claus. That's my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah. Okay, here we go. I'm bringing it up. I'm going to be bringing it up on X because I know we got a little bit of limited time here. So I'm going to share it. Hold on a second. Please be patient with me. On X. There we go. And
oh, look at that.
Boom.
Oh, look at that.
That's the old white dude.
White. Yeah. Old,
looks
white,
like
crotchety.
A kind of older and thinner version of a particular candidate or political person in this country. Yeah,
that's basically it. So this is Wonder Woman's villain, okay? The Sovereign. So the article goes, Donald Trump and his right-wing extremism, the stereotypes are there, including xenophobia, along everything else Hernandez mentions. Immigrants and refugees of a sort are one thing's troubling the Sovereign. We are referring to Amazons active in the U.S. as civilians and superheroes. He just wants out. He thinks they're no good. Oh my God. Oh, and I'm looking at this. Yes, because oh, frick, for God's sake. So an incident at a pool hall illustrates that the atmosphere around the sentiment. Well, some men get into a fight with an Amazonian ambassador while the Sovereign narrates. He speaks of a time she, Wonder Woman, defeated him and his network. King's series will explain a few twists and turns. At the exact...
Oh, God, at some point in the speech, is he like, when you're famous, they let you do that, you know?
Yeah. A few swipes are taken at Ronald Reagan. Hold on here. I'll get the article.
It's too on the because you know what? If you have an argument to be made, like the best way to do it is subtly with a good story. This sounds like you've overridden your story just to blare something out. And you're going to
Oh, yeah.
insult people. You're not
It's-
supposed to
it's-
instruct
it's
people
always-
with the
yeah.
fucking comic book. It's a comic book,
It's
motherfuckers.
always a
Yeah.
heavy-handed, in-your-face approach, bludgeoning you over the head with it.
It's become a trope.
They
now.
have,
The villain has
You
to
know,
be a
that-
straight white
it is.
guy. So
and that art's okay. I feel bad for the guy who created this piece of art. That doesn't look too bad. But then, like,
Crap.
what does she say? It's like, take this one for the patriarchy, you know? Like the poor artist, he has like
Yeah.
who knows if he has any control over that story.
So he takes a few
You're
swipes.
drawing bitch
checking out
woman.
Ronald
He's our
Reagan.
new character.
He reflects on the narration of his failures. The sovereign says, what was it we had that our old actor fellow say when he got himself into all that Nicaraguan trouble? Mistakes were made. So yeah, so he's talking about the what was the Iran-Contra affair, if you remember. So like remember way back in the 80s? Yeah. So he's talking
I
about that.
remember.
Yeah.
You know what? Ollie and
Yeah.
I were on the boat with Marcos, and everything was going cool until he started saying some things that he should have known better than to say in front of Americans. And we had to leave it out of our report, and we get in trouble for paper. Basically, document fraud. It's a procedural crime.
It is.
And you know,
It
for my part, I just want to say I still have the wonderful ceremonial pig killing stick he gave me. And Ferdinand Marcos may have gotten a raw deal and seems to me to have been an okay guy. He was always very nice to me.
There you go. The Titan. I was expecting the Sovereign to be more orange. Looks more like Biden.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It does. It
That
does.
would be good.
It does.
Is that their plausible deniability? Because they came out and said Trump,
It
right?
is. It is. Yeah. He also says part one is going to involve the Sovereign building a wall and Wonder Woman smashing right through it. Yeah.
Oh, come
Listen,
on.
guys, but just like really quick.
The only
anybody
reason
agree
I
or
watched them
disagree?
recently is because they're bringing back Kingdom Comes Superman back. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the only.
You know, honestly,
series.
does anyone think this with me? Like good literature or a good comic book, even or a good story, makes you think this is telling you how to think. This is the little red
that's
book.
exactly
Yes,
it.
This
They're
is
telling you
Chairman
how to
Mao's
think.
little red fucking book. It's total fucking commie bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hitting
Yep.
you over the
I'll
head.
say
It's-
it.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
out there.
That old actor fellow is Reagan, and the Nicaraguan trouble is a reference to the Iran-Contra scandal back in the 80s, where money and weapons were funneled to third world powers amid conflicts. That's another story. So the point is, Tom King insinuates Reagan was a puppet from a shadowy monarch and in over his head.
Or whatever happened to fake
Oh,
President
yeah.
Stevenson from the 80s or something? Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what next? It's like like the real story of Jesus, and he's like, I need to get to my tomb where I keep my arc reactor. It's like, you know, like I was thrown back, Tony Stark thrown back in time is Jesus. It's like, what? It's getting ridiculous, and they're going to bite off more than they can chew. They came close in Love and Thunder with Pantheon. They were getting to the edge of weird to.
I really
Go ahead.
want them to run with this and to embrace it and to go all out, because I want to see them burn to the ground. Old school Battlestar Galactica, the scene where you've got Boltar and his fighter looking at the Battlestar Galactica as it's burning. He's laughing, going, "Burn, Galactica, burn! No one's coming to save you, Adama." Yes, burn DC, burn Marvel.
Or
no
as
one's
we know
coming
him
to
from
save you.
as we know him from Star Trek, Kang. No, not Kang. He might be Kodos. No, who the fuck is he? He's the commander of the planet in Errand of Mercy. He's the Klingon. He's a Klingon.
Yeah.
Boltar is in both Battlestar Galactica and like 2 different Star Trek shows, TOS, and I think they bring him back again in Deep Space Nine.
I believe so.
I forget what's that character's name, guys. Chat will know. Our chat knows their Star Trek.
What were you saying, Foggy?
No, nothing. I'm just taking this in because it's hurting my mind. I'm literally tired of it. I'm so tired of it.
I am. It's when does this stop? When things come to a crashing halt? I mean, one comic book company after another is falling. Valiant's fallen hard. I think they're down to like one book a month. IDW, didn't they just collapse recently? What's left?
We have too many
Misunderstanding makes
people
no
writing the same. We have too many people writing the same story. The problems with Ahsoka are the problems with Strange New Worlds.
I'm gonna say this right now, and you mentioned earlier about the '80s. Two of the best shows ever written, in my opinion, were MASH and WKRP. For me, anyway. I loved MASH is brilliant. That was so. It was a mixture.
It was
of great
very
comedy
much of its time. Have you
and
seen
serious.
the inability to make it watchable now, though? Like, because we can no longer kind of accept a laugh track. Like it challenges immersion. They've tried showing it without the laugh track, and it's like people sort of just stand around. Like, maybe there's a way to save MASH. I guess they show it with the laugh track is the way to do it, and see if people still like it. Leave it the way it was made to be watched, because it did work that way. But yeah, you're right, because sometimes it was written really well. There was episodes of MASH where no one laughs too. Like, there's like 3 or 4 super sad episodes.
Oh yeah, but WKRP did the same thing though. It had some serious episodes, like the kids on the drugs and stuff, or the trampling in Cincinnati where people were killed. And there's episodes that grip you, and then they're like, wow, they're telling these deep stories. And other times you're laughing your ass off. I mean, and it's perfect timing, good writing, everything.
Exactly.
Nowadays you just put it together, some crap, put it against the wall. Oh, it's woke, it's this, it's that. Let's put all these nuances in because we got to hit all the points, and that's it. There's no actual story put into it. It's just.
Does anyone remember the episode of Quincy where there was bad pot going around, and he was like went to a high school, and he's like, "I'm not saying don't smoke weed. I'm not saying don't smoke pot. I'm saying be careful. Try a little bit first to make sure you're okay. Maybe blow it in the dog's face, see if he dies. But you know what? Some people out there have been messing with the weed, so maybe for a while you shouldn't smoke it at all. But if you do, you got to be careful." And I was like, wow, they just sort of sideways said smoking weed is normal, but you have to be careful because this one person did bad things to it.
Like, you have to be grown up. Yeah, you have to be grown up and mature about it.
Yeah.
Nowadays, nobody's grown up or mature.
Nope.
He says don't do it, then he says but since everyone's doing it, you should know this. And that's just the outlook of the show. It was Quincy was a good show, and what a journey we've been on since the 70s when that episode aired, as far as the way we view it in America.
Yeah. Pretty much almost at the top of the hour. I want to thank everybody that has dropped by and really appreciate it. First of all, that was first here was actually Gap After Dark that showed up here actually yesterday. So wow. So he showed up early. So yeah, I know, right? So,
he really wanted to be first.
Yep. So he was definitely first, followed by Dark Helmet. Thank you, Dark Helmet, for dropping on by. Snortapoopus Cuber, everybody's favorite polar bear, who's actually in Florida, so he's taking it easy. He's getting away from the cold. He's a smart bear. Lenra that dropped by, who eventually had to go to work. Snail Messiah. Rocco the Brave also was here and is still here as well. And we had everybody's favorite Kiwi Grandma, Carla Burton, and Disney Sheep Herder as well, who was also here.
What an adorable kid.
Nice. I know.
We've seen a couple of pictures of that baby. It's really cute kid.
Yeah,
exactly. Yep. He's a cutie patootie. We also had Dadman walking. Hail to you, Dadman.
Great
Hope you're
to see
still
him.
around. And yeah, it's awesome seeing Dadman. And who else did we have? I know we had a few.
And all our pals over on Rumble, where we've got Wendy
Trauma Warrior. Yep.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And also Rocco the Brave, so who is also listening in on Rumble as well. So and I'm just
by the way, Wendy Trauma Warrior has a great comment. She's over on Rumble. She says, "They say you can't squeeze blood from a penny. That's because it's the job of government."
Yep. That's right. That's what they do best. We also have the Titan that was also here. And am I missing anybody else? Captain Fandom Nerd, Captain Infinity. And as I scroll down even further, of course, we have the Last Wanderer. Thank you, dude, for showing up as well. Really appreciate it. And I think probably, oh, well, yes. And of course, Gap After Dark, who showed up yet again anyway later on in the chat. So the Titan asks, comic, is it me or has there been an unusual lack of Megatron on the promotional stuff for the Image comics? Yeah, there kind of has. I think I've only seen a few pages here and there. I don't know, a few promo things, but I mean, obviously they have Optimus. That's for sure.
Yeah, I actually got.
I'm just glad he's come back. I'm glad he's back from the scandal. I'm glad that people understood that there's two sides to every story, and due process proved that he hadn't done anything wrong. So we don't need to talk about what they say Megatron did. But you know what? Congratulations on a triumphant return.
I've been following the Void Rivals issues. I think they got 4 issues out now that kind of ties into the whole Transformers, what they're calling the Energon universe. So that's going to be tying in GI Joes
I'm going to
as
have
well.
to check them out because I haven't seen much of them since Transformers was still at IDW, and they had some pretty interesting storylines from what I remember.
Yeah,
beats Hasbro.
I know that Kurtzman from The Walking Dead, he's been writing it. So I want to say I have.
I believe it's Kirkman, right? It's not Kirk.
Kurtzman's the right. Sorry,
right. Yeah. I was like, no, don't say anything good about someone called about a writer named Kurtzman.
Admonish me.
Speaking of Walking Dead, anybody watched the Dixon episode?
He's writing, so yeah. So I got.
I've heard positive things about it, which is hard to believe because I thought I was Walking Deaded out.
Yeah,
I was as well.
Yeah.
So
when she turned her friends into kibble in that big gravel maker, I was like, I'm out. That was fun, but I'm out.
Exactly. So thank you for everybody dropping by. Please join the Rumble channel because that would really help me out as well. And we're getting closer and closer to also on this channel. So apparently at 3,000 hours you can get
monetized.
Wow, that's twice now that Mike has tried to say the word monetization and been
like button and subscribing roboted. It would just really help me out. So
something like everything he does.
But
get Justin Trudeau's food off his man's neck, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. So
get his cohibas out of his face.
Sexton Hardcastle, what do you got coming up?
You think you know me? Wait, no. I've been doing the, of course, do the weekly stuff. Don't forget to check out the TikTok as well. I have fun over there because Ted, the other guy, he has a lot of fun. He gets to be goofy and stupid and weird. And I've been doing the 420 gaming sesh as well. I'm going to be delving into doing Skyrim again. I figured, I can't play because I have a PlayStation and it was only Xbox exclusive. So I'm going to go back and do Skyrim. And I figured, let's create the Elric character if anybody read those books. So we're going to do that. And just something different on those nights you want to chill and relax.
Nice.
Cool.
Beauty. Pop Culture Republic, anything you got planned on the burner?
Yeah, I'm going to be doing some test streams later this week. I'm rebuilding my desktop, so I'm going to be I finally got enough parts to cobble together a new desktop rig for myself, and I'm going to be doing some test streams because it's going to be interesting finding the limitations of Windows 7 and doing some interesting stuff, possibly dual booting into Linux as well, because oddly enough, the software I find that is no longer supported by Windows 7 is supported by Linux. So yeah, go figure.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Workarounds.
Nice. And Admiral Teague, what do you got going on in your neck of the universe?
First of all, PCR, if you're going to rebuild your computer, you should monetize your misery by filming the build. People love that. My name's Admiral Teague. My show is called Saving Star Trek. That's my YouTube hashtag. My link is in the chat now. It would be great if you join me. we check out Star Trek. On Thursdays, we live watch 1923. Friday and Saturday, we kind of have a talk show. We started out doing only Star Trek. Now it's Star Trek war movies and Westerns, and we're still expanding, and the format experiments continue. Thanks to everyone who's supported me so far. It's been a great 53 weeks of content making.
Nice.
Cool.
Sweet.
Yeah. And thank you, Mike, for having me on as usual.
Not a problem. So for everybody out there, thank you for joining in. Really, really appreciate it. And for everybody that was there on Rumble as well, Wendy Trauma Warrior and Rocco the Brave, thank you for joining in on Rumble. It really helps me out. And for the 10 people that are also watching that aren't commenting, comment away.
Well, you can watch, but you can't comment without
hit that like button.
You can follow and you can watch without having an account, but you can't comment without having an account. So make that Rumble account. Make that Rumble account, boys and girls, and do everybody a favor. Our good friend, the Comic Relief Crusader, could use it, and Admiral Teague is on Rumble as well, where we love the freedom of speech. And what I've been doing the last few weeks is when the stream gets to its point where we're done with 1923 on YouTube, we punch out and we do the Saving Star Trek show on Rumble alone. So Rumble gets like a couple hours of free exclusive content every week. So if you're on Rumble and you're so inclined, you follow me too. But use Comic Relief Crusader as a person you register with, so he gets credit for it. This is not good. It doesn't have an algorithm, which is good and bad. And I'll say it again, this is not set up for ease of use. Ask anyone who has to set it up. This is not set up for people being driven to you by views. Ask anyone who's on here. What it is set up for is so that you can have your freedom of speech, something that's very important. And, I look forward to the day where I can move here full time, but they have to catch up to their tech problems. We thank you for putting up with it. And, otherwise you can catch us on Euphemism Tube.
Freedom of speech, something we're losing in Canada, as you mentioned at the top of the show.
Yep. For all of you guys,
just write your senator. You're American citizens.
There is the link there for everybody that's still in the chat. Click on that. Register over to Rumble right now. Make your voices heard, because together we can just get stronger, speak out more, and let everybody know what's going on. So
exactly.
And sub our panel so that they can broadcast live. There's a threshold to go live on Rumble too. There's a slight internal economy here. So likes are very important. If you're out there and you can like Mike one more time, we'd really appreciate it. And thanks for all the likes on YouTube as well. But Comic Relief Crusaders out there doing it for us all the time. 1 or 2 more likes. And thank you everyone on Rumble. Sorry, I'm done shilling for you.
No problem.
I'm done with the show. But you know what? It's a worthy thing to show for. It's a great show.
Thanks. So from everybody here on the panel to all of you guys in the chat, whether on YouTube or on Rumble, really appreciate it. Stick around for the end of the week news review on a Frantic Friday. And we'll have another funny show for you at the end of the show. 2 shows at the same time. So we'll see you guys out there. Thank you very much for joining in. So we bid you adieu.
Later on.